What exactly is free will? I didn't care about these lofty words that had nothing to do with me. Some people say that I am the most innocent of all evildoers, but I think my illusion of free will is the ultimate irony of the world. I hate totalitarian castration of free will. He turns people into disciplined machines. I think the violence stems from a combination of hedonism and nihilism. I am an admirer of extreme violence. My name is Alex. Let me tell you what real madness is. Tonight, my companions and I found homeless people. We beat him up like crazy without even asking. I thoroughly enjoyed the pleasure of this.
And what's so stinking about it?
It's a stinking word because there's no law and order anymore.
We're still bored after beating this old man. We found another gang. Now it's George at the helm, and an indiscriminate attack began on them. We burn, kill, loot, and do all kinds of evil, but I didn't enjoy it at all. Tonight we set our sights on an old writer's mansion. We pretended to be children who couldn't go home and tricked the hostess into opening the door.
Friends in the middle of the road, bleeding to death. Can I please use your telephone for an ambulance?
I'm sorry, but we don't have a telephone. You'll have to go somewhere else.
But Mrs. It's a life or death.
When the hostess opened the door, we were revealed. When I came up, I kidnapped the hostess and kicked over his paralyzed writer's husband. I started raping his wife in front of him. The Havon. I could see that the old man in front of me was in great pain, but as everyone knows, my happiness has reached its peak at this moment. I don't know how long to go back to the milk bar again and listen to classical music. Today's song is my favorite song, Ode to Joy. But at this time, my brain's dead companion actually let out a strange scream. This incident made me very angry.
What did you do that for?
For being a bastard with no manners. Not a duke of an idea how to comport yourself public-wise, oh my brother.
That's not the same, Bob. So best we go our own ways and get a bit of spatchka.
I could see that his eyes were full of disbelief, but he didn't dare to say a word next to me. In the dead of night, I returned home and began counting the day's spoils. I turned on Beethoven's music. Start immersing yourself in the world of music. At this moment, all kinds of conjectures about violence came to my mind. This gave me a great satisfaction for the evil craving in my body again. When I woke up, I went downstairs to find my companions waiting for me downstairs. It was clear that I saw the displeasure that the three of them were against me.
What does that great big horsey gape of a grin portend?
All right, no more picking on Dim, brother. That's part of the new way.
I forgave them for their recklessness by pretending to be reconciled, but mentally I'm ready to beat them up. We took a normal walk to the river. I took advantage of their lack of attention and immediately launched a sneak attack. All three of them ended up being beaten. Now, I don't think anyone would dare to question my position in the group in person. Once I had regained my presence, I led them to the bar. The companion proposes to go to a rich girl who lives alone tonight to do evil. I didn't even think about it before I agreed. We pretended to be children who couldn't go home and tried to trick them in.
Excuse me, missus, can you please help? There's been a terrible accident. Can I please use your telephone for an ambulance?
I'm frightfully sorry.
I didn't expect to be recognized this time. My companion offered to let me in through the window, and I opened the door again.
And get in that window and open the front door.
But I didn't expect to collide with the rich girl after I entered.
Wretched, slummy big bulk. I'll teach you to break into real people's houses.
In a hurry, I knocked the rich girl unconscious on the spot. I'm really panicking at the moment. I hurriedly ran out to join my companions, intending to escape. My companion suddenly took out a milk bottle and knocked me unconscious.
Come on, let's go. The police are coming.
What do we do, Droogie?
I'm blind! I'm blind, you bastard!
When I woke up, I found myself at the police station. I immediately asked police to see my lawyer.
I won't say a single solitary syllable unless I have my lawyer here. I know the law, you bastards.
Righty right, Tom. I have to show our little friend Alex here that we know the law too, but that knowing the law isn't everything.
Unexpectedly, these policemen knew the law and forcibly beat me. The next day, I got the nightmarish news.
You are now a murderer, little Alex. A murderer.
Not true, sir. It was only a slight old shock. She was breathing, I swear it.
So I was sentenced to 14 years in prison for murder. After entering prison, I gradually became less arrogant and domineering than I used to be. I began to actively undergo rehabilitation in prison and got to know the priest in prison. Every day I would attend the priest's reading on time. I didn't know that I was all in disguise. On the surface, I'm actively transforming. But as everyone knows, my mind is full of violent thoughts. The other day, I happened to hear about an experimental treatment that would get me out of prison quickly.
You are referring to the Ludovico technique. I don't know what it's called, Father. All I know that it gets you out quickly and makes sure you never get back in again.
I decided to sign up without even listening, and I got chosen by the warden in virtue of my outstanding personality.
This vicious young hoodlum will be transformed out of all recognition.
Thank you very much for this chance, sir.
Let's hope you make the most of it, my boy.
Soon I was transferred from prison to a treatment center. I was very curious about doctors' methods.
What exactly is the treatment here going to be then?
Just going to show you some film.
You mean like going to the pictures?
Something like that.
I thought to myself, this is simply wonderful, because I usually like to watch old movies very much. By the afternoon, I realized that it was not what I expected. They immobilized my limbs. The persecution kept me watching violent films. I didn't feel sick at first, but over time, I didn't expect them to change the music to my favorite Beethoven symphony. I prayed for them to stop, but it didn't work at all.
I've learned my lesson, sir. I see now what I've never seen before. I'm cured. Praise God.
You're not cured yet, boy.
The helm. After 2 weeks, my nature was completely transformed. I am sick just thinking about violence and music. I was completely turned to an obedient pawn at the mercy of others.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, our subject is impelled towards the good by, paradoxically, being impelled towards evil. We're not concerned with motives, with a higher ethics. We are concerned only with cutting down crime.
Soon I was back home, but I found out that my room was already occupied by someone else. I was so angry that I wanted to blow the other person's head off the spot, but he didn't wait for me to throw a punch. Violent thoughts give me headaches and nausea.
I'm leaving now. You won't pity me no more. I'll make my own way. Thank you very much. Let it lie heavy on your consciences.
I had no choice but to leave my home. Unexpectedly, on the way, I met a homeless old man. My head had an even more unbearable headache. Unexpectedly, more and more people gather in this way. I was beaten by countless homeless people. The police showed up and saved my life. I looked up and saw that the police were actually my men.
John knows Vinny, Drew. How it goes?
It's impossible. I don't believe it.
No magic, little Alex. A job for two who are now of job age. The police.
They led me to a hidden woods. They pushed my head in the water and beat me. The helm. At the moment, I was helpless and disgusting, and I couldn't do it at all. This George at the helm. At this time, it was raining heavily. Desperate, I walked to a house by feeling, realized it was the writer's house. I was very panicked at the moment. Fortunately, the other party didn't recognize me. He heard about my makeover. I think I'm a strong stumbling block.
This young boy is a living witness to these diabolical proposals. The people, the common people, must know, must feel the There are great traditions of liberty to defend. The tradition of liberty is all.
Soon he entertained me seriously and let me take a shower. When I came out of the shower, the writer began to entertain me to dinner. I felt that the atmosphere was a little weird, but it wasn't real. While eating, I felt weak. Soon I fainted. When I woke up again, I found myself locked up in the house. At this time, the room remembered classical music. I instantly realized that the writer had recognized.
Turn it up! Turn it up! Turn it up!
I hear classical music and I have an excruciating headache in the moment. In the end, I couldn't stand this mental torture. I jumped straight down the stairs. By the time I woke up again, I was already at the hospital. Unexpectedly, it was my parents. All the governors of the government came to visit me.
You must have an interesting job at a salary which you would regard as adequate. Not only for the job that you're going to do, and in compensation for what you believe you have suffered, but also because you are helping us.
At this point, government officials offered me conditions. As long as I stand on the platform government, I can get preferential treatment. I certainly can't refuse this kind of good thing. Then the doors of the hospital opened, and all the people who came in were composers and singers. Now, I catch you at the helm when they sang my favorite classical music in front of my eyes again. My head didn't hurt at the moment, because I know I'm Alex back again. Someone asked me what free will is. All I can say is, when asked if violence can be tried to eliminate violence, it has become an accomplice to violence in its own right. It's George at the helm. All of this is a human experiment without time. What exactly is free will? I didn't care about these lofty words that had nothing to do